Hello everybody, my name is National Master Jesse Cohen. This is Summit School of Chess, and I am so excited to share the following interview with Grandmaster Grigoryan, CEO of ChessMood. In this interview, we get to explore some really important topics such as, does a person's upbringing influence their success? You might be pretty surprised by Grigoryan's upbringing, and how important is attitude and effort in chess? What really matters? What is the difference between success and business success, personal success? What are really the important things here? So many deep questions, so many golden nuggets of truth that I can't wait for you to enjoy. So let's jump right into it. You've been working so hard to build your company from the ground up for, I think you said, 4 years now. And so it's just been all these countless hours you've had, and I want to get into all this. It sounds like you've had lots of opportunities to do things with other people, but you always wanted to make sure that it was done correctly. And so you've always been doing so much of the groundwork yourself. It's so impressive. But yeah, I wanted to give a big warm welcome for Grandmaster Grigoryan to the show.
Thank you very much.
So many wonderful things to say. So I guess let's just jump right in, shall we?
Sure, let's go. Thank you very much.
So I gave you a quick look at some of the questions I was going to throw at you, but yeah, we'll just jump right in. So, the first thing I want to say is, you've been very successful. You are in an elite pool of chess players, grandmasters, which is, it's in terms of chess ranking, I think it's like grandmaster, then maybe country champion, and then I guess some big international tournament or world champion. I mean, you're in the highest of the elites, and you're also the CEO of ChessMood. And so you're a very hardworking and ambitious man, and I'm just always interested to know, what was your family environment like that such hard work, initiative, and success would be promoted. I really feel like that family environment helps shape who we are so much, and so I'd love to hear more about that from you.
Yeah, so part of probably second part of my answer will shock you, but we'll start from the first one.
Sure.
So, my mother is a successful businessman, and my father is the president of the country.
Oh, wow.
But that was in my dream. In the
Sure.
real life, I am from modest family, and especially in my childhood, it was quite challenging childhood. I was born when I was 4. There was a war going on in my country, and my father, he's very patriotic, and he left us and went to the war as a doctor. So 2 years I was there with my mother, my younger sister who was 2 years old, and my grandmother. And during the war, the country had very difficult time. We had electricity for just 2 hours a day.
Oh my gosh.
We didn't have food. You couldn't go to the grocery and buy bread or sausage. You couldn't.
Oh my
So it
gosh.
was very, very hard time. And I believe probably that has part how I was raised, because uh, when you don't have something, often you want it so much in the future that it adds so much fuel in your motivations. Like the same way when I was kid, I never had a bicycle. It was my dream, but I never had a bicycle. And then when I grew, I bought a motorbike.
Oh wow.
So it's like something you don't get in your childhood. This is my belief. It has lots of things to do who will you become. So when I was like 4 years old, I didn't have many things. I didn't have toys. I didn't have that like the normal like usual children has. Well, probably I had much more than many other kids in the less developed countries had. At least I had water, so I'm feeling blessed in that part. but comparing to the other like successful families, we were very far from that. And my grandmother, to entertain me, he taught me to play chess because
Oh, okay.
my mother was having like 2 hours electricity. You need to do everything at once. And when you take with your one hand your my young sister, 2 years old, and doing everything, and I was very naughty boy. At 4 year, my grandmother should entertain me somehow. So she taught me to play chess. How what are the pieces, how it goes. Uh, somehow I don't know why, but I started to win my grandmother quite fast, and we switched to backgammon. Taught me backgammon, and when my
Okay.
father came back from the war, I was already 6, and I could play more or less chess. And my father is a big chess fan, and just for to understand his level, he has around 2400 at chess.com,
Oh, okay.
and
Wow.
yeah, it's like quite serious. So he loved chess very much, and when he came back from the war, he didn't have a job, but he had a family. And he was all the day, all the nights, he was running to make end to end happens. And I didn't have enough connection with my father because I couldn't see him. I missed him so much, but I couldn't see him because he was all the time trying to find a job. But I found a trick.
Okay.
Whenever I was taking a chess board and saying, "Father, let's play chess," he couldn't say no. So through chess, I found a connection with my father. He
Oh,
loved chess.
wow.
He was loving when I was playing chess. And through that, I found a trick how to get my father to spend time with me. So we started to play chess with my father a lot. At first, he
Sure.
was taking his pieces. He was taking his queen and 2 rooks, and what he was just with minor pieces, and I was all my army and playing against him. And then after I win him 3 times in a row, he was adding 1 rook, one minor piece. So he was doing it so we didn't put equal pieces, and he win me every time, and I
Sure.
get disappointed. And he didn't want to just play weaker, so I I I like he didn't do that. So he was taking out of the pieces, and it was equal environment, and we were fighting with father, eventually to the point where we were playing with equal pieces with my father. Then he took me to the school, and so the rest goes. And I think that I was born in the modest family, had to do lots of things with my like inner desire to get to the level where I can buy kind of anything I want, where I can go to the magazine and I buy whatever food, whatever juice, whatever comes to my mind. That was kind of inner motivation, like to get there where like you do whatever you want.
Sure.
And at the same time, I think the another reason I had this mentality to always go forward is the first tournament I played and the first game I played, I lost.
Okay.
If I won the game, maybe I wouldn't be here where I'm now.
You think?
Maybe, maybe because I remember when I lost that game, I came to home. Not just some game I lost. It was something like I'm fighting with my father. My father is so strong. I'm going to the tournament. I'm going to win these kids. And then somebody crushed me. I didn't lose. Somebody crushed me. And like it, now I'm understanding what happened that time. My ego was very badly hurted, and that night I couldn't sleep. And that night, I don't remember absolutely everything, but I feel that night it was the night when I said, huh, I will come back for you guys. And then it started training, training, training. Okay, beating these guys. Then I was playing Armenian Championship onto under 10. I was number 3 in the first time I played. And I was like, why I am number 3? I want to win the tournament. Let's train 1 year. And so on, and it goes. Um, another thing happened to me was at 12, at some point, my father was angry at me and he took me out of chess.
Oh,
He was
really?
angry because I was not working enough. So I loved chess. I was working, but time to time, I was a kid. So before going to school, I was putting alarm, waking up, and before going to school, I was playing on computer. I didn't
Sure.
have computer when I was 4. So now I had some computer. I wanted to play games. It's natural. I didn't play games when I was like very, very child. So that was in me to fill that gap. and he took me out of chess. And that time I went to martial arts. I went to mixed fights. I was 12, and the first day I went, my coach asked me, "Why do you came here?" And I said him honest answer. I said, "I'm not going to go to participate in tournaments. I just want to train a bit, and I want to get stronger."
Okay.
And he didn't like it. He wanted to have champions.
Sure, sure.
So I was 12 years old. He said, "Okay, let's see how you can fight." And he put in front of me 15 years old big guy.
Oh, great.
And that 15 years old big guy just smashed me. And that was another thing. I could just come back, cry, never go back. But the next morning I wake up at 6 a.m. I was 12 years old. I wake up at 6 a.m., go to the garden to run. I said, "Give me 1 year. I'm going to kick your ass." It probably come from the blood. Probably comes something from my father because he was fighter. I said he went to the war, fearless. It comes probably from my predecessor because Armenia was all the time in the war. We had this fighting spirit. Probably it was in my genes that too. But in my life, that happened to me things that I was smashed. And I think whenever you are whenever you are smashed, you have two options. Either you say like, "Okay, I go back, it's not for me," you resign, or you go further. And I am wholly agree with the things that whatever don't break you, that doesn't break you, it makes you stronger. And it was in my case. So either I would just broke or I would go further. And the same whatever happened to me, it was just adding fuel in my motivation, and I was going like that thing. Later, like I had to support my sister because she wanted to become a doctor. To become a doctor, university, lots of expenses, and I realized if I become a grandmaster, I can support. So then it got that one. Then it was okay. My father did this everything for me, but my father's dream was not that I become a world champion like most of the parents want. My father wanted to see me representing Armenia in Olympia. That was my father's dream, to see me in the national team. And I wanted to do it very badly for my father. And eventually I did it. Eventually
Yeah,
in
yeah.
2010, I won the Armenian Championship. I represented the team. I got there. And then, to disappointment of my parents, at 22, I decided to stop chess. I was in my peak. I had 26 something, and I decided to stop.
A big
Um,
decision for you.
like quite big, yes. Not easy decision because it
Sure.
was like you do so many years chess, you train so hard, so many years, so many pains, and you go through that, you get to your peak. I was about top 100, and they said, "Okay, like I'm going to stop it." It was hard decision, but like summarizing that journey, why I was always achieving, I think part was in my genius. My predecessors, like all Armenians, are fighters, and I think this is one of the reasons why we succeeded in the last Olympiad, and we won two Olympiads, and we never was in top five. We never were, even with Aronian. But it's in our genius that we are fighters. That's why we are more successful in sports like boxing, like things like that, than some soccer because like we fight there. Part probably was genius. Part was my childhood that I didn't have, like, let's put this way, I didn't have healthy food every day. I couldn't buy anything I wanted when I was kid, and my parents didn't buy everything. And I wanted to get to the level where I can do everything, when I can help my family, where I can help my sister, my father, and so on. And that desire gone. And the third thing, I got smashed in my childhood a few times. The first one when I was 6, when I went to my first chess tournament. The second one when I was 12, when I went to the big fighting arts, and
Yeah.
the guy smashed me. Probably that case is had to do lots of things to become a fighter and go and achieve and never stop.
Oh man, what a fascinating story. I love so many parts about this story, so many things that are interesting, because there can be so many backgrounds when it comes to chess, and your story is a bit different. I think it's really interesting how it started off kind of like going after your father's approval and his love and getting to spend time with him. I mean, it started off as kind of a way to kind of entertain you, and then it became something to build a relationship with your father. And it's such an interesting thing, and I think you're very right when you talk about the culture of Armenia and being fighters. I'll be honest with you. In the United States, I feel like there is a very large sense culturally of, it's okay to quit. It's okay to quit. Is your marriage, I don't want to get into any too difficult topics, but is your marriage too hard? You can quit it. Is that activity too hard? You can quit it. Go do something else. There's all these possibilities. And we end up with a lot of people that are pretty mediocre. I mean, we do have, we do have a lot of good things that, but yeah, I would say that you guys are much more fighters than we are. And it also reminds me back to something that I heard Hikaru Nakamura say, that he said that, I think he said that his dad let him win, or like the first time they played or so, or he didn't just try to smash him from the beginning. And he says, I think if he did, I might have been discouraged and not wanted to keep on. And so he got a taste of winning. And then the other thing, again, yeah, just that, we have all these opportunities to quit. Again, like, I think I read on Twitter, I think it was Anish Giri who said chess is suffering. and there's a lot of truth to that. I mean, there's a lot of pain that can come with chess, because unlike other things like poker or things like that, I can never say, oh, I got a bad hand, or oh, I got unlucky, the cards did not come my way. None of that. If I lose a chess game, it's all because of me. And so it can be very, very personal. And yeah,
It's absolutely true, and at the same time there are things that I think chess is not as life. There are like lots of quotes if you go to Google and put chess is life, chess is this, but I think chess is not life, and in a minute I will come back to why. But for a second, about that, you mentioned that in the USA it's okay to quit. Maybe it's right. Maybe it's right. I will come back to it again. Uh, but if you want to just to like get, yes, it's true that like, if you are born in a country like Armenia, who suffered during the old history, you have advantage in succeeding and getting. But with success, I have to mention professionally success, because I think there is a trap in society like professional success and success. I think they are very different things.
yes.
And with that, the biggest challenge I have when I was coaching Thailand's national team,
Yeah.
they were fantastic people, fantastic culture, so many things to learn from them, and I'm missing them very much. But the biggest challenge I had with them, it was when they were in a bad position, they were in a lost position, they were giving up very fast. That was my biggest challenge. And when I talked with one of their top guys, he said, yeah, it's probably because of the country. We have here sun, we have here a good weather, we have here cheap food, we never had wars, so it has to do with that. But however, if you think about like coming back again, like okay, for a second about poker, I think poker is more about lives than chess. Because in
Interesting.
chess, like you do everything correct, yes, in chess, and you win.
Yeah.
In life, it's not that way. Often you can do correct things, but you get betrayals, you get that. Poker is the same way. You play good, and the last card it comes and you lose. It's not your fault. So poker, I think, is more about life. And when after chess, I switched to poker for a moment in my life. Yeah, the first
Yeah.
year I trained very much, but I couldn't win. And then I realized what a stupid thing I am doing. So what I was doing, being a chess player, never resign, fight till the end, never resign, never do that. So I was playing poker. Okay, I have some pre-flop, some cards. I was raising. The flop is coming. I'm raising. Turn is coming. One more barrel, third barrel. I didn't learn. After some period, I learned that
It's okay to
quitting,
fold.
yes, if you quit on the right moment, if you resign, if you if your damage is minimal, it's winning. It took me time to realize that you should resign at some point. So, that in the US, say as you said, in culture, people quit often. Maybe it's right thing, because now we are speaking about just getting success, but it's professional success, right? Yes, I achieved many things. I was professionally successful probably, but was I successful in life?
That's a big
That's a big
question. That's a
it's
big
a, it's a
question. Who can
big
answer that,
question, and
really?
yeah, it's a big question, difficult question, and
I think
it's
only you
what
can answer that, right?
yeah, yeah, and whatever I will say now, it's just my personal opinion. But I felt around my 30 that all my first 30 years, I was kind of trapped in society's values that they create for us.
Sure.
Go, achieve, run, fast, never stop, achieve. I felt it was not the correct way, because I was around my 30s when I started to learn more about happiness, fulfillment, about Buddhism, about different philosophies. And the more I was reading about that part, the interesting thing is that material things, we have car, house, that has nothing to do with happiness and fulfillment. And the same is professional achievements. They had nothing to do with that. But I was growing in a society where success were encouraged. When I was getting champion, everyone are producing me. And I was about 30 when I changed many things in my life. And I felt it's not just about succeeding, achieving rating points, money, bank account. It's not just about that. And yeah, now it's still with ChessMood, you can say it. I'm successful. I'm growing the company. Yeah, I'm pushing forward, but I am doing it not just for myself, going and going and going, but I changed many of my values. So it's not now for me, at least. It's not just about going and going and going. Coming back to that topic, I'm not sure. Yeah, that like people who are quitting, it's bad or good. Maybe it's good to quit at some correct moment.
I think it all comes down to the reasons why we do things. I think we can see two examples of two people quitting something. One can be for a good reason. One can be for a not so good reason.
Very,
Um,
very wise. Very wise what you say. Yes.
um, but I did want to talk about something else that you brought up, and that was the Taiwan team, and it's very interesting.
It's Thailand.
Or Thailand team,
Thailand team.
Thailand team,
Yeah.
and it was very interesting to me. I once had and I want to talk about more about the philosophy of chess mood, right mood, right move. I once had a student. I won't give away his name, but very successful. Not just successful in chess. It was as if he could do anything he wanted to. If he did martial arts, he became the top. If he did piano, tennis, whatever it was, he became in like the top 10 in whatever he was doing. And I finally asked his parents. I was like, "What are you doing with this kid? Is this just a rare thing that there's no reason, it just happens?" And he said, let have our son write you a letter. And so he said that he attributed why he has been so successful to three key things. He says, number one, he said, my parents always stressed attitude and effort as more important than immediate results. He said that his biggest scolding from his father came when he was playing in a tournament and the game started going badly. He had a bad position, and instead of fighting on, he just kind of gave up. He kept playing the game, but he might as well have given up. And so, they've always stressed to him, to have that right attitude and that right effort. The second thing they said was they said, my parents got me involved in competitions from a very early age. I don't know if Armenians struggle with this as much as people in the United States, but there seems in the United States to be a lot of issues regarding anxiety and mental things. And there's a lot, I find with my students, there can be a lot of performance anxiety. I've had certain students that don't do chess anymore because they reached a certain level and they couldn't handle the pressure anymore. But he thinks because his parents got him involved in competing from like age 4 that he just didn't get that nervous. Some kids get really nervous and he just didn't. And then the third thing he said was that his parents would try to do everything they could to provide special opportunities for him to learn. Because his parents are of Chinese descent, in his high school year, his junior year, he did something that you're typically not allowed to do. He took a year off of school, and his parents sent him to Spain to train with top tennis coaches. And he took the entire year off, and then he came back. And that was the most big example. But yeah, that his parents would try to put him into unique situations that could allow him to grow and achieve. So again, having that right attitude and effort, it's less important if you lose your chess game than if you come in with good attitude and effort. Let's start competing at an early age so that you don't have performance anxiety, and let's get you into special circumstances that can allow you to grow in ways that you might not otherwise have had access.
I think that Jesse, that first one, the attitude, and the third one, when you are in the special environment, personally I feel that they are a bit connected, and I would put in just one word. Is the system you put which will take you to some place. So there is like this like lots of famous TED talks and other talks. Forget about results. Focus on the system you are putting. What is your routine? How you are going to train? You are doing everything correct. You are sleeping correct. You are waking up correct. You are putting 6 days a week on training. You have this correct system. At some point, you will get the result. So that first thing, the attitude, and that like special environment. Yeah, I think they are a bit connected because they both, for one reason, what is the system? But the second one you mentioned, competition, and that many are getting that anxiety, they cannot go to competition. That part is very interesting, and I think for young kids, it's how it can work. I think it can either work very, very well, or it can break them. Because I was once listening my favorite, my legendary Kobe Bryant,
Yeah.
for sure, that passed away. He said, the interviewer asked him, most important game, how do you handle your pressure? And his answer just blew me up. He answered something that I posted the video, like, what? He said, there is no such thing as pressure. It's only your ego.
Really?
So, and then I like, and later I read a lot about ego. There is a beautiful book, Ego is the Enemy, by Ryan Holiday. That topic is like you can just take, anyone can take just Jay Shetty's Think Like a Monk, and there is a beautiful section about ego. So if someone doesn't have the time to read the whole book, The Ego is the Enemy, I think Jay Shetty put it like very nicely in a shorter way in just one section. And ego is a big thing, because what's happened when we go to competition? Anytime we go to competition, we put in danger our ego. We trained so hard. We did this. We did, like, let's speak about chess. You worked 4 hours on that. You learned that opening. You learned that puzzles. You did that, but unconsciously you are not sure if like you did everything correct or not. And when you are going to the tournament, your ego is going to be unchallenged. It might be damaged, because if you lose, the first things that are damaged, it's only you. It's only your ego. So often you might hear, yeah, somebody is 1600 going to the club, playing some tournament. It's seventh round. They have 2 out of 6, and they are saying it's very important game, but I lost. It's for them often it's important game. For outsider, it might be like, okay, it's just a game. But often for us, like it's our ego is getting so much attacked. So often we are having problems with handling it, and because of just that, when I realized what is this ego, after like starting to go to this philosophies, yeah, when anyone is speaking about me, how to go with the chess, how to go further, or give me one book about business, where to start, I am recommending to start with handling their ego. And either of these, ego is the enemy, or Jay Shetty's think like a monk section about ego, to start from there, to understand what is an ego. Because if you don't like, if you don't get it in your hands, your ego, it will do bad things for you. So coming back to the in the child example, yeah, if parent prepares mentally, consciously or unconsciously, to a kid, protects his ego, it can be fine. Recently, one of my good friends was asking, should he take his son to a tournament to Spain? They live in Japan, so they were going to Spain. And the tournament he wanted to take his son, he said, my son can get 0 out of 9 or half out of 9. Should I take it? Should I take him? From the first point of view, you won't say no. The kid can be discouraged. But then there was second part. The kid wanted very much to play. So what I recommended my friend, I said, like, if you decide to take, you should have lots of preparation. I mean, you should prepare your sons that they are very strong, they are very good. But even if you can get just half point or 1 point, I will take you to somewhere nice. So you prepare your mind that it's okay, so you are strong. So you prepare your ego of getting very badly damaged. And this thing, this ego, I think it's stopping many 2600 grandmasters even for growing. You might say there are lots of grandmasters agreeing draw at some point, at somewhere. And agreeing draw is one of the things that it's stopping all 26, 25 grandmasters to get to 2700. And I talked with many people, and I like there, if you check out, there is no one who is 2750, but when he was 26, he was making draws. And why it's stopping them? Because you are 26 round, yeah. Why you often agree draw? Because when you lose, that night you feel very badly because your ego was damaged. And the next day when you play, just to avoid the feelings of previous day, you want to agree draw to escape from here.
Yeah.
So until you don't learn how to work with your ego, how to take in your hands, and from the first steps, what is the ego, how it works, how to be there. If you don't learn it, there are going to be problems at some point. So like the example you brought, your student, yeah, I think first of all, their parents consciously or unconsciously did a great job with this, preparing that kid from damaging their ego.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's so interesting that you mentioned that. It really is. I remember. I don't know. I think sometimes we can learn this through wisdom, but I think most of us have to learn this, unfortunately, through an unpleasant experience. For me, it was the 2012 North American Open. It was the first tournament I was playing in a while. And I went in with this expectation of, okay, I've got to win my first round and I've got to set the tempo off correctly. And not only did I lose my first game, I lost my second game too in the first day. And I hope that nobody ever has to see me as angry and hurt as I was. I have asthma. I bought cigarettes and smoked them to punish myself for what I had done. And then the next day I go back, I win both of my games. I feel better than ever. The next day I go back, I lose both of my games. Down, up, down. And after 3 or 4 days of doing this, I was emotionally exhausted. And by the time it came to my last 3 games, I was like, I don't have any emotional energy left. I have mental energy, but no emotional energy. I was just like, all right, whatever. I'm just going to play the best chess I can, and whatever happens, happens. Those next 3 games of chess might have been some of the best chess I've ever played in my life. Um, and it got me to kind of realize, kind of what you were talking about with my ego, with my emotions, that if I want to perform as good as possible, the result should not matter. I mean, like, it should matter. I mean, I play to win, but if I lose, I lose. If I win, I win. I'm not here to win and lose. I'm here to play the best move that I can each and every move, and let the rest happen as it happens, and forget the emotions, forget the results. And it's amazing what things can happen when you get to that place. I got there in a very unhealthy way. I recommend nobody to take my path to get there, but I was very glad that I had that realization that, oh, okay, this is what it should be like.
There, I think that nobody can escape such situations, and everyone, like Carlson, Garwan, Kramnik, Anand, I think everyone had that moments, when that heartbreaking moments, and that are the cases when it's like often people are quitting, and the best, like, they don't quit. I had in my life a tournament. I put in one of our blogs, where I trained very badly for 6 months for one tournament. I led the tournament till the end, and the last game I need to just make a draw. And in rook endgame, 3 against 3, my rook is on a4, opponent king is on b5. He just want to take my rook, and I made the move with my pawn, and the opponent took my rook.
Oh,
So, like, you can imagine the pressure there
oh
was in my
no.
mind, and what I had, like, heart attack for 1 month. I didn't touch chess for 1 month. It was moments that many would stop, but then I continued. And again, coming back here, I think I learned how to work with my ego. I put it back and said, ego, like, shut up. We don't skip. We go ahead. And with the same thing, like, often it can help when we play relax. There is a story I put also in our blog. I called it the Wizard, who helped me, and he taught me something very powerful for my life. And till now, I'm using that. It was Abu Dhabi tournament. I was about to quit. It was one of my last tournaments, I think, and I was playing not good. Lots of draws with international masters, lower rated players, and then one day in the evening, I was sitting and having a dinner, and that guy from Kazakhstan, his name was Kazbek, he came next to me and said, "Can I sit with you?" I said, "Yeah, welcome." He said, we eat together, and then he said, "Do you want to win your last 3 games?" I'm like, who is this guy? I know he was around 2200. Like, that time I was 26, he was 22, and he's saying, "Do you want to win the 3 last games?" I'm always very excited about live people, and I always want to hear. That probably was one of the things that took me to up. I was always open to hear from people, and I'm very blessed that I said yes. Tell me, how can I win? I didn't say, like, okay, come on, it's 2200, what you can teach me. I said, let's go to work. And during the work, he said, Avatik, you are playing too much depressed, too much pressure on you. You are like all the time like this, fighting. Let's do this. You are always sitting, lying back like this. Always your back should be straight. And whenever I'm coming to your board, you are smiling. Like, come on, I'm thinking and how I smile. Like, yeah, no matter what you calculate there, you calculate, and whenever you see me, you smile. I said, okay, let's do it. Anyway, I was playing very badly, last 3 rounds. Yeah, I said, okay, let's try. Okay, agree with you. Let's go. Uh, and I did that. I was sitting, the fight is going, and then he was coming and like, okay, I played 3 beautiful, almost non-mistakable games. I won the last 3 rounds, and I shared the first place.
Wow.
And now, whenever something is going not as I want, the first thing what I do, I fix my back, I smile, remembering Kazbek. And it took me time after I started to go into neuroscience to understand how our brain works, the connection between the body and brain. And then I realized how powerful is our thoughts, our posture, how we breathe, how we smile, how what we wear. That everything is so important. Yeah, and actually, when it's about going to like best performance, there are cases when you need to relax, and there are cases when you need to get to the pressure. You need to add a little bit pressure, and there is the medium, like the balance, the best balance, which you at some point you should get. So it's going there. And about that, one more thing that of your students, yes, there are three aspects that he took to him there. For me, the three things are: what's your why? The famous Simon Sinek TED Talk and his book, Find Your Why. I think it's brilliant and it works. It's very powerful. Why you started that? Whatever you do, somebody started the podcast, somebody write a book, somebody goes to have to go to the like difficult hike. Yeah, if you have a weak why, whenever you are facing challenges, at some point you can easily stop, easily quit. But if you had a strong why, especially if you find a why that is bigger than you, nothing stops you. So for me, first one is why. The second one is the system you have. I mean, if you want to become a grandmaster, you are 1200, and you just work 1 hour a day, it will not work. Whatever is your why, whatever is your desire. So what is your system? Do you work like seriously? Do you have good coaches? Do you have good books? Do you have the system? Like, what is the system of you are doing? And the third thing is might be surprising. The third thing I think is just being awesome person, because there
Interesting.
are so many story happened to me, to people. What can do when you are awesome? How many doors there will be open? Some will think that okay, these grandmasters are getting to invitations to play in the top tournaments because they have higher rating. There are many people who have higher ratings than some players, but they are getting invited because they are awesome. Many coaches are saying no, but saying yes to somebody. Not always they are saying it to most talented. Often they are telling to most awesome. The investors, they like often, especially like venture capitalists, yeah, they are like maths, calculations, pragmatic, yeah. Angel investors has more emotions, more emotional, yeah, and often their answer comes to, is it guy or girl, like whoever, is it awesome? And when you are awesome, so many doors are opening to you that it's unbelievable. But that is something nobody teaches in our schools. Our society doesn't teach us be awesome. Our society teaches us go and get there, hustle, always success. That yeah. But this is I think my three-step formula. So, why? What's your why? What's your system? And are you awesome?
I like that. What's your why? What's your system? And are you awesome? I'll admit, I completely agree with you that, I mean, in terms of whether you say that you're awesome or that you are a genuinely good character that contributes positively to those around you. People are gonna want to work with you, to be around you, and to connect, and that can lead to so many wonderful things.
I don't know personally how the universe works, like how that happens, but there happens so many things with me, with my friends, with people. Also the opposite, when something didn't happen with someone because he was not awesome. I will just give you one example. When we started ChessMood, I didn't want investors. I didn't want people who will come and push me to the different metrics when it's what's the money you are making, how many students you are making. I didn't want that. I didn't want investors who will come here and join me for money, because I didn't start it for money. I had a different mission to help chess world. So I said no, not to every investors. But then we got two investors. Lucky made both our students, ChessMood students. But how it happened, the first one? Here is how it happened. Uh, when we ChessMood, everyone was getting one-on-one call, whoever was joining ChessMood. And I was having calls with people. At that time, I was only doing it. So people was joining ChessMood, they are paying for membership. I'm having one-on-one call, giving them study plan. We are meeting, and so on. Yeah, I was building this community. And then there was a guy who was already with ChessMood around 1 year. And when I go into, I check his profile, I found he doesn't really work with ChessMood courses. And I messaged him. I said, okay, probably you are busy. I know he is some businessman. I said, probably you are quite busy. You don't have time. I think I will just cancel your membership so you don't pay me anymore. I said, like, what? I'm paying you, and instead of being happy that I forget about canceling, you are coming, remembering me that I should cancel. And no, I didn't start it for money, so maybe I cancel and later you come back. He said, no, I will just support you with this. Yeah, I'm busy, but I'm taking your courses time to time. I will keep it for supporting. I didn't know who is he. After some time, something happened. He asked me to check one of his games. I checked it. And after some period, he said, can we have a call? I said, yes. And he said, I want to support you somehow. I didn't know who is he. Because what he offered me, I was like, So, like, kind of, he said, I will give you big help. I don't care about shares or anything. Like, who is he? And then I found he is quite big and successful businessman, but most importantly, the most brilliant heart I know, it's him. And he eventually became our investor, became my godfather, and became my big brother, became my second father, and everything started from that. I said to him, you don't use our courses much. Let me cancel your membership. You don't pay us anymore. I didn't know this. This is just one example how it can work.
No, it's amazing. And I mean, so it sounds like he wanted to, but because you are awesome, he wanted to support you. And that maybe if you were less awesome, he would have gone somewhere else, you
I
know?
don't know what it would happen, but we would not have that talk if I didn't message him and say, like, genuinely from my heart. I didn't
Yeah.
message and say, I don't need your money. Let me cancel your membership.
Which by
Might be
itself is a
might
great
be different.
character move. You know, you're saying
Yeah.
you care more about the person than the money. And so I would say that's pretty awesome.
Um, I started ChessMood not for money, with different values. As I said, yeah, I was around 30 when I realized it's not just about money, success, members. So, like, people who are asking me about ChessMood, like my friends or family, like somebody close who can ask me that question about how is going ChessMood, yeah, they are not what they are asking. How many students you have? How much money do you make monthly? Nobody asked me how happy you are at your company. How happy are your teammates? How healthy is your culture? How happy are your clients? Do you have emotional connections with your clients? Do you have fun? Nobody asks me. Everyone asks, what's the numbers?
Sure, sure.
Because this is all our society is teaching us success, numbers. Everyone knows Steve Jobs. Not everyone knows Wozniak. For me, Wozniak is a hero, such a brilliant man. For me, Wozniak is successful because he won the life. He's such a happy person. When you listen his interviews, his morals, his value, for me, his. But our society teaches us success, numbers, that. So it took me time. It took me time to change a bit. I'm not saying that now I am correct and I'm on my correct path and I figured out that was wrong, this is right. I'm not saying that. Maybe after 10 years I will come back to watch this and I'll say how stupid you were, Avetik. But at least now I think that numbers, like that part, I think it's a traps that society creates us, and unfortunately many we fall there.
No, I think you're absolutely correct, and I think it's amazing that you've learned this such an important lesson at such a young age. We're getting down to about the last 9 minutes, and I really, for our viewers at home, I'd love for them to get a taste of what ChessMood has to offer. If you know how, I have enabled sharing on Zoom.
Oh,
If you would like to share with us, you could show us. You know, we've heard so much of the passion and the heart and the awesomeness that goes into ChessMood, but we haven't seen the website ourselves, at least not the viewers. And so I'd love to have them have a chance to take a look.
Cool, cool. Let me do that. Let me share the screen. Mm, well, probably before I share it, I'll tell you how I started it.
Sure, sure.
Um, I was in Thailand. I was their national coach, and I was having lots of fun there. I was working a few hours a day. I was also playing poker at that time. I had money I couldn't spend all. I was living next to the beach. I had wonderful life. Like many would dream about such life. And then I saw some of the chess players there. What are the courses they bought? Like not good courses, let's put it that way, but very nice marketing words. I said, no, no, no. What is this? I will find for you courses if you want to buy. I spent the internet the whole day and the whole night, and I didn't find anything that time. That time there was not Chessable yet. I have respect, especially for the last year's what courses they produce. 4 or 5 years ago, there were lots of crap. That come on, this is no way it's happening. This, and this was one of the reasons I came back and started the ChessMood, and I made it this ChessMood in a way I wanted to see educational platform of my dream, because when I was going there, I was always mm, all my life I was studying, be it chess, be it poker, be it marketing, be it business, be it finances, anything, yeah. And always I had one problem. I was going to the website where websites there are some courses, and I was looking, hmm, from where to start. There are 10 courses. This one or that one or this one or that one. Should I watch this and that course or that course? I never know from where to start. And I think still now, most of the chess places where you will go to buy courses, yeah, nobody will tell you, okay, like this. It will say, okay, we have 100 courses or maybe 500 courses, and they say it very proudly. We have 1,000 courses, but is it good? Like when somebody is coming and they don't know from where to start. So how I wanted ChessMod to be, someone comes and it goes courses step by step. So you watch this course and that, then that, then that, then that, and okay, this is what I need to do. Just go one by one. If I do that, I will get there. This is the first thing I created. Second thing is uh, I was seeing something. I was learning something, but I was not seeing it in practice. And what we created is that during the streams we play only what we teach. So if in our courses we are teaching, for example, French, during the streams you see only us playing French. So whatever your theoretical knowledge was, you see it in practice all the time by an expert, by grandmaster, who plays and command how it's going. And at the end, like after sometimes you have such a knowledge there because you learned it and also you see it in practice. And the third step, I was always struggling in educational platforms. I couldn't ask questions. I watched the course, but I have questions there. Like nobody is there to answer me. So the third step was we created a forum where paid members can ask questions and they get answered either by community or either by grandmaster. So this is like the three steps ChessMood was created. Now let me share the screen. I will briefly show you what's going on there. You see my screen, right?
Yes, I do.
All right. So from where it started, we at first put uh, opening courses, which goes like one by one. So here you can see numbers here, 1, 2, 3. So somebody is coming and saying, okay, I'm playing e4, and then we go, what you play against e5, what you play against c5, and one by one you watch everything. The same way you watch everything for black. Uh, then it goes classical games, then it goes middle games, again everything like step by step, one by one. And later what we did, because these openings often people were saying like it's too big and it's really too big, 10 hours just scotch, and then all this e4 would take 50 hours. We created an opening repertoire for below 2000 level where you don't need to learn all that stuff. So that was, we created this white mode. It's about 7 hours, and in 7 hours, you learn everything you need to know for playing e4. In the future, when you grow your level, okay, go ahead and check out the other courses one by one. The same we got here for black. We got here our model games. Also the streams I talked about that we streamed already thousands of hours. Here what we did, we cut it all the best games from the streams and filtered it and put it by section by section. So if you studied for example, Scotch, yeah, and you want to sit in more games in practice, you go here, just go to Scotch section and you check out games from the streams. So here it was the courses part, like there are also at the top for below 2000 level courses, again, one by one. Tactic, mating patterns, how to stop blunders, attack, defense, and so on. Everything like, one by one. You watch this, done that, done that, done that, done that, done that. And then it goes events. So you go to events and there are streams, weekly streams, webinars, interactive lessons. There are forum where you can ask questions. We have also blog where in blog we don't write articles like 5 tips to become a grandmasters or the openings that you can beat every grandmaster. We don't like write that tricky
The
headlines.
clickbait.
Yeah, clickbait. But all we do is trying to share the experience. At first, I started to write articles, and then many other grandmasters joined me. And in our blog, only grandmasters write articles, sharing all the knowledge they got from the years of playing, of coaching. Yeah. So this is what we made, and there are 2 plans people can go with. One, okay, I'm with my nickname now. So it's like two plans, essential and pro. If somebody is too busy, I advise them just to go access to all the courses. You pay monthly and get access to all the courses. You don't buy individually courses, $100 this, $100 this, $200 that. You just pay monthly and you get access to all the courses. Or you go pro and you also get access to streams, webinars, interactive lessons, forum, and all the playing platform. My vision where I'm taking this everything is farther than this. So what you are seeing is probably about 30% of my vision.
Oh,
It's gonna
wow.
be much bigger, but I will not spoil like all the whole information now. There are still lots of work to be done, but I'm passionate. I think that's 3 things. I have my strong why I do that. I have a system. I'm coming here at quite early, 6 a.m. at work and leaving at 10 often, 10, 11 p.m. I have the system. I'm trying to be good person, living accordingly to my values, and trying to go farther. So, but most importantly, I think now I'm like when I'm really living happy life. And answering to that question, when I became a grandmaster, did that, achieved that. So I think never I became so happy as I am now, living my dharma. Dharma is a great word. Great word. It's Buddhist philosophy. It says when you do something where you have passion, you have skill, and you serve others. And it takes time before you find the dharma. This is like Buddhist philosophy. I think it's like last few years that I found my dharma, and I'm living a full life now.
You seem, just hearing you talk, you're so passionate about what you do, and I love that. You can sense that happiness. You don't talk about ChessMood because you have to. You talk about it because you want to, not because it's something that you just, it's not this big money making scheme. It's that I want to help people, and I'm seeing people do it in this way that I think is not the best. So let's come in here and let's join everyone together and let's do it the right way. And I really, really like something that we both very much agree on is the structured system. You go to so many different websites, and the question is, hundreds, thousands of courses. Where do I start? But it's so much nicer when it's just like, okay, I don't have to think about that. I think I won't get it too much into it, but there was a study one time. There was this exclusive market, and you could go there, and let's say you wanted to buy olive oil. They would have 20 different types of olive oil from 20 different countries around the world. And they thought, oh, what a wonderful experience. Everyone would have such a unique choice. However, they found that their sales were very bad. And that
Yeah,
and that when people have so many choices, they often get stressed out and make no choice at all. And so if you take that choice out of it, we're just like, okay, here's where you're gonna go, then it takes that stress off. They can just get right into working and enjoying, and I think it's a wonderful idea. I really do.
yeah. It's still now I'm struggling to find places to study some not just things. I'm trying to learn something about like design, about finances, about that. My wife wants to study something about design. She's doing a lot of design. She wants to learn more. She's struggling to find a place where she will go and said, okay, there are these 7 courses, this course, and that. Or our marketers, they want to study to learn some SEO. Like, where are the places where this, that, and hopefully one day there will be a big platform where you will go and you will go everything step by step, be it trust, be it marketing, be it design, whatever, because I think this choice, like there never was so much choice as now. Yes,
Yeah.
some abundance of material, abundance of like so much, and it becomes like really crazy to understand from where to start. So when it will be places where experts shows you from where to start and where to end, this is the road we have passed. Yes, because it's much easier to follow to someone who has already done what you want to do
Uh,
than just going and experimenting different things. So um, this is something I very much believe in, and especially when I see the success stories we are getting, the feedback we are getting, the people we are meeting during the course or even one-on-one, yeah, that all energy that adds so much fuel in you that it's you cannot just stop. Like, we are coming to the office, yeah, to work, and then our client support, our happiness team girl Lily says, hey, whatever you do, just leave whatever you do. And like, what happened? Here is, and she's reading the email from one of the success stories saying, guys, you did that, I changed it, I want this, and like, we are all producing. And yeah, this is such a motivation. This is such a fuel when you understand you do something, you have fun on your road, you help others, you build something bigger than you. It's such a cool thing.
No, it really is, and when you can have that when you can really touch somebody's life, not just with their chess, but touch them as a person, that's when it becomes really really special. Because of the time, we do need to wrap up, but I just want to say the biggest thank you, Grandmaster Grigoryan, for joining us today. ChessMood
My
is a
pleasure. My
wonderful
pleasure.
website. I hope everybody goes and checks it out. I'll be raving and ranting about it like crazy. I love your attitude and your personality. I'd love to get to talk to you again sometime. But yeah, you have so much to offer, and I hope everyone gets to listen to this and learn from the wisdom that you have brought to us today.
My pleasure, and thank you for organizing everything. I know you're also doing lots of useful stuff in the USA. Wishing you all the best too, and wishing uh, all the viewers to stay well. Have the right mood, have the right mood, and the right moves in their lives.
Right mood, right move with Grandmaster
Yeah,
Grigoryan. All right,
yeah.
everybody. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody, and thank you
Bye
so
bye.
much.